The mind is either your biggest enemy or your greatest tool. You decide. Most people wake up and their mind is already in charge. It pulls them into worry, distractions, overthinking, and doubt before the day even begins. And that's why they stay stuck. Because if you don't take control of your mind, it will keep leading you in the wrong direction. It'll make excuses. It'll search for comfort. It'll keep repeating the same thoughts that held you back yesterday. But once you learn how to control your mind, everything starts to change. You stop reacting. You stop wasting energy. You start making clear choices. You move with purpose. In this video, you'll learn how to take back control. Step by step, you'll learn how to think better, focus deeper, and stay grounded no matter what's happening around you. This isn't about hype. This is about building the mental strength that real success demands. And it starts right now. Chapter 1. Command your mind to stop chasing useless thoughts. You've got to get serious about one thing if you really want to succeed. Your mind. That's where it all starts. Success doesn't begin with a job. It doesn't begin with a bank account. It doesn't begin with talent or connections. It begins with how you manage your thoughts. If your mind is out of control, your life will be out of control. So today, you've got to decide to command your mind. Not just talk to it, not just hope it listens, but command it. Most people never think about what they think about. Their minds run wild all day, jumping from one useless thought to the next. They worry about what doesn't matter. They think about what other people are doing. They repeat the same fear-based stories over and over again. They go through the day letting their minds drag them around like a leash. And then they wonder why they don't feel strong. They wonder why they never feel clear or confident. But if your mind is full of things that weaken you, how can you expect to feel powerful? You have to stop that cycle. You have to wake up in the morning and take control before your mind runs off with nonsense. That means you start your day by choosing what deserves your attention. Not everything deserves your time. Not every thought deserves a seat at the table. Some thoughts show up just to drain you. Some thoughts are there just to make you feel small. You've got to recognize them and push them out fast. See, your brain is a machine. It'll do whatever it's been trained to do. If it's been trained to chase distractions, it'll chase distractions. If it's been trained to react emotionally to small problems, it'll do that all day. But if you train it to focus on your goals, your values, and your priorities, then it'll start working for you instead of against you. But you don't train your mind once and forget about it. You train it daily, you guide it, you correct it, and you don't let it wander without permission. When a thought comes up that doesn't serve you, stop and say, "This isn't helping me. This isn't leading me forward. This is wasting my energy." And then shift it, replace it with something useful. Not positive thinking just for the sake of it, but practical thinking, focused thinking, the kind that reminds you of what matters right now. That's what discipline is. It's not just about doing the work, it's about thinking the right way. Discipline starts in the mind. You can't expect yourself to take smart actions if your head is full of noise. You've got to clear that space. Create room for strength, not weakness. Create room for clarity, not confusion. There are thoughts that move you forward, and there are thoughts that hold you in place, thoughts that feed growth, and thoughts that drain it. You've got to be smart enough to know the difference and strong enough to choose the right ones every single day. So, how do you do it? First, become aware. Pay attention to where your thoughts go during the day. Notice what keeps popping up. Notice what makes you feel tired, what makes you feel lost. That's the mental clutter. That's what needs to go. If it doesn't make you stronger, it doesn't belong. If it doesn't help you grow, it's holding you back. Second, create structure. Don't let your mind wander all day with no direction. Give it something to focus on. Write down your priorities. Write down your goals. Give your mind a list of things to come back to when it starts drifting. The mind needs anchors. Otherwise, it will keep chasing whatever it sees next. Third, stop feeding your mind with junk. The same way your body gets weak from bad food, your mind gets weak from bad input. If all you do is scroll and consume nonsense, your brain starts thinking nonsense is important. Be smarter than that. Choose what you watch. Choose who you listen to. Choose what you allow in your head. Your mind is your space. Guard it like something valuable. Fourth, build strong mental habits. Just like brushing your teeth or exercising, mental discipline needs repetition. Start small. Begin with 5 minutes a day of focused thought. Sit with your goals. Ask yourself what matters most right now. Train your mind to return to clarity. And over time, you'll notice it gets easier, it gets sharper. You'll stop chasing what doesn't matter. You'll start letting distractions quicker, and you'll stop letting them run the show. Fifth, challenge your thinking. Don't believe every thought that shows up. Some of them are based on fear, some are based on your past, some are just plain wrong. Ask yourself, is this true? Is this helping me? If not, toss it. Don't argue with it. Don't entertain it, replace it. Replace it with something useful, something strong, something that moves you. See, success isn't a result of luck. It's a result of mental control. It's the ability to stay locked in when others lose focus. It's the ability to keep your energy strong when everyone else is drained. It's the ability to think clearly when life gets messy. That's what sets people apart. Not who they know, not what school they went to, but how they think, how they respond to pressure, how they stay grounded. Every day your mind will offer you a dozen doors to walk through. One door leads to your goals. The others lead to worry, anger, regret, or distraction. Which one are you choosing? You're the one in charge. You're the one who has to say no, not today. Today I'm focused. Today I'm disciplined. Today I'm in control. And when you learn to command your mind like that, everything changes. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop overthinking and start doing. You stop wasting time and start building. You stop doubting and start believing. That's what mental control gives you. It gives you your power back. So if you're tired of feeling stuck, start here. If you're tired of feeling scattered, start here. If you want to feel strong again, start here. Stop chasing useless thoughts. They've taken enough of your time, enough of your energy, enough of your life. Now it's your turn to take over. Your turn to lead your mind. Your turn to build the life you know you're capable of. Start with one thought, then another, and don't stop. That's how you win. That's how you grow. That's how you succeed. Chapter 2. Force your brain to stay on what matters. If you want to reach success, you've got to do something most people never learn to do. You've got to train your brain to stay on what matters. Not once in a while, not when it's easy, but every single day. The truth is, most people let their brains run loose. They start the day with good intentions, but then something small grabs their attention and it's gone. One message, one notification, one worry, one distraction, and their mind. Then another thing pulls them, and before they know it, their time, their energy, their entire focus is scattered. That's how people waste years without even realizing it. They're busy, but they're not productive. They're thinking all day, but not about anything that actually moves them forward. So if you're serious about changing your life, you've got to make a decision. From now on, I will train my mind to stay on what truly matters. That's not easy at first. It takes effort. It takes attention. But if you don't do it, your brain will keep drifting to whatever's easiest, not what's important. There's a reason why some people make progress fast, and others stay in the same place. The difference is not intelligence. It's not luck, it's focus. It's the ability to stay locked in on what counts. The ability to say no to the small things, and yes to the right things. That's what separates those who move ahead from those who stay confused and overwhelmed. You have to understand something very clearly. Your brain is a tool, it responds to patterns. If you train it to switch tasks every 5 minutes, it'll keep doing that. If you feed it shallow content all day, it will become addicted to that pace. But if you train it to stay still, to stay calm, to stay on one thing for a long time, it will listen. But it doesn't happen by accident. You have to take control. That means you have to decide what deserves your attention and what doesn't. Start by asking yourself one question. What really matters right now? Not what's urgent, not what's loud, but what truly matters, what actually moves your life forward. What's going to help you become who you want to be? What's going to bring progress, not just activity? And once you find the answer, you stay there. You don't move. You give it your full attention. You don't let your brain escape the moment just because something else shows up. That's how you build mental strength. That's how you build success. You've got to stop letting your brain chase things that don't serve you. It'll try. It'll offer you an easier option. It'll pull you toward comfort. But you've got to be the one who says no. You've got to be the one who decides what gets your mind and what doesn't. You can't give everything your attention and expect to get results. You've got to narrow your focus, you've got to choose what matters, and train your brain to return to it over and over, no matter what. When your brain wants to scroll, remind it what's important. When it wants to drift, bring it back. When it wants to jump to the next thing, pause. This is where most people give up. They think it should feel easy. But success doesn't feel easy. Staying focused doesn't feel natural at first, because the world is constantly offering you new things to look at, to worry about, to react to. But if you can resist that, if you can stay centered on what matters, you'll start building something strong inside you. A kind of calm power, a clear direction. And once you start practicing this every day, you'll notice something. Your energy improves, your mood improves, your confidence rises, because instead of being pulled in 20 directions, you're rooted in purpose. You're not jumping from one meaningless thing to the next. You're not wasting your day on mental noise. You're focused, you're building something, you're moving forward. And don't just wait until things get quiet. To practice this, do it in the train your mind to stay on track even when the world is loud, when people are calling, when problems are rising. That's when mental control matters the most. Anyone can focus when life is calm. But real strength is built when you can hold your focus under pressure. It's also important to know your triggers, what breaks your focus, what pulls you away from what matters. Is it your phone? Is it fear? Is it comparison? Whatever it is, be honest about it. Don't ignore it. Face it. If your phone is the problem, put it in another room while you work. If it's fear, write down what you're afraid of and challenge it with facts. If it's other people's lives, stop looking and start living your own. You can't afford to keep giving your mind away to things that don't help you grow. One of the best things you can do is create a routine that helps your brain stay on track. Give it structure. Start your day by reviewing what matters most. Set one goal, not 10, just one, and give your best to that. If your mind drifts, bring it back. If you get interrupted, return quickly. Don't beat yourself up, just return. Over and over. That's how focus is built, not by perfection but by consistent return. And give your mind time to rest. This isn't about being rigid all day. It's about knowing when to focus and when to recover. A rested brain is a focused brain. So don't burn yourself out trying to force clarity. Take breaks. Step back, but always return to what matters when it's time. You also need to protect your focus from emotional overload. Some days, emotions will try to take over. You'll feel frustration, anxiety, or doubt. And if you let those emotions control your focus, they'll hijack your entire day. So when those emotions rise, pause. Don't react, just sit with them. Breathe. Acknowledge them. Then ask, does this help me move forward? If not, choose a different response. Choose to return to what matters, even when your feelings are loud. Train your brain to work for you, not against you. Teach it that success requires focus. Teach it that what matters comes first, and when you do this enough, you'll start to notice that the distractions lose their power. They don't pull you as easily. The temptations don't control you the way they used to. You've built a stronger mind, a clear mind, a focused mind, and with that kind of mind, success is no longer a dream. It's something you create. One thought at a time, one choice at a time, one day at a time. That's how you win. You win by staying on what matters long enough to let it grow. You win by refusing to chase what doesn't serve you. You win by showing up fully every single day with a focused mind and a clear direction. And once your brain understands that it works for you, not the other way around, everything starts to change. Your time gets better. Your decisions get better. Your results get better. Because now you're not just living, you're building. You're becoming someone who leads their life with strength, not noise, with clarity, not confusion, with focus, not chaos. And that's the kind of mind that success belongs to. Chapter 3. Decide what to think and never drift again. If you want to build a strong life, you have to start with this: decide what to think. That sounds simple, but most people never do it. They let their minds go wherever they want, without direction. One minute they're thinking about their dreams, the next minute they're stuck in doubt. The mind is always active, always moving, but if you don't lead it, it won't go anywhere good. The moment you stop deciding what to think, your mind begins to drift. And drifting leads to confusion, it leads to delay, it leads to weakness. You lose control of your time, your mood, your energy, and eventually your life. What separates people who succeed from those who don't is not always talent or opportunity. It's how they think. Successful people make a decision about their thinking. They know what thoughts they will allow and what thoughts they will reject. They don't leave it to chance. They don't leave it to habit. They wake up and choose. They remind themselves daily, this is how I think, this is where my mind goes. This is what I focus on. That's not magic. That's discipline. And anyone can build that. If you want to stop drifting, the first thing you have to do is take responsibility for your thoughts. No one else is going to do it for you. Life will throw distractions. People will have opinions. Problems will show up. But you're the one in charge of what you focus on. You decide if you want to think about growth or defeat. You decide if you want to dwell on what's wrong or work on what's possible. It starts with ownership. It starts with knowing that every thought you choose either builds you or breaks you. Your mind becomes whatever you allow it to focus on repeatedly. If you allow it to keep returning to worry, it becomes fearful. If you allow it to focus on setbacks, it becomes hesitant. If you allow it to feed off negativity, it becomes bitter. But if you take control and start choosing thoughts that build belief, courage, and direction, everything begins to shift. Your actions get stronger. Your mood improves. Your momentum returns. This is where most people miss it. They don't even know they're drifting. They think because they're thinking, they're moving. But thinking without intention is like walking in circles. It tires you out but gets you nowhere. You have to give your thinking a purpose. You have to say, this is what I want to build today. And then you train your thoughts to follow that. Over and over. Because your brain learns through repetition. The more you focus on what matters, the more natural it becomes. It's not willpower, it's mental training. There will always be noise. Your mind will always offer you reasons to stop, to fear, to complain. You'll get reminders of past failures. You'll hear your doubts, you'll feel pressure, that's all part of it. But the difference is, you don't have to accept every thought that shows up. Just because it's in your head, doesn't mean it's true. You don't have to give attention to everything your brain produces. You can observe the thought and then make a choice. Does this help me move forward? If not, let it go. Replace it with something useful, something strong, something real. If you want to lead your mind, give it something to work with. Don't let it guess. Don't let it search for problems just to stay busy. You need clarity. That means you need a vision. You need to know what kind of person you're trying to become. You need to know what kind of life you want to create. Once you decide that, filter every thought through that lens. Ask, does this match the person I'm becoming? If not, it doesn't belong. You've got to protect your thinking like you protect your future because it shapes everything. Drifting happens when you stop choosing. It happens when you're passive. When you let your environment think for you. When you let social media, fear, or other people's drama direct your thoughts. You don't have to follow every noise around you. You don't have to believe every opinion. You can step back, pause, and think for yourself. That's where power comes from. Not from reacting, but from choosing. You decide what you think. You decide what you believe. You decide what you give energy to. One of the best things you can do is create daily thinking time. Even 10 minutes. Sit down with a piece of paper. Ask yourself questions that matter. What do I want today to look like? What's the most important thing I need to focus on? What am I thinking that might be holding me back? Get those answers clear, because when your thoughts are clean, your actions become sharp. But if your thoughts are messy, everything else will be messy too. Another way to take control is to pay attention to your environment. Who are you listening to? What are you watching? What kind of energy are you around every day? Because all of that feeds your mind. If you're surrounded by noise, your thinking becomes scattered. If you're constantly consuming drama, your thoughts become reactive. Be intentional. You don't need more input, you need better input. Choose what you let in. Your mental space is limited. Don't waste it. Success requires clear thinking, and clear thinking requires attention. You can't keep living on autopilot and expect great results. You've got to pull your mind out of the fog and get serious. Ask yourself, what am I doing with my mental energy? Am I wasting it in things that don't matter? Am I repeating thoughts that slow me down? And if the answer is yes, make the shift. Start choosing thoughts that help you grow. Start building a mindset that works for you, not against you. This isn't about being perfect. You'll have off days. You'll have moments where the old thoughts come back. But the point is to return, to notice, to correct. That's where strength comes from. You notice the drift, and you return to focus. You notice the fear, and you return to courage. You notice the doubt, and you return to belief. That's how you build control. Not by avoiding struggle, but by mastering your return. And don't expect everyone to understand. Most people aren't doing this work. Most people don't even realize how often they drift. But you're not most people. You're someone who's choosing to think on purpose, to live with clarity, to lead with intention. And that will set you apart, not just in results, but in how you carry yourself. You'll be calmer, sharper, more confident, not because life is easier, but because your mind is stronger. That strength is available to you right now. It's not locked behind some special program. It's not only for the naturally disciplined. It's for anyone willing to take full control of their thoughts and build from there. You don't have to drift through your days. You don't have to keep repeating the same patterns. You don't have to let your mind lead you into confusion and frustration. You have the power to choose anew, and once you do, everything starts to change. One thought at a time. One decision at a time. That's how you take your mind back, and that's how you build a life that actually works. Chapter 4. Reset your mind. Every morning with full intention. Every day, when you wake up, your mind is at a crossroads. You either take control of it, or it takes control of you. The way you begin your morning has more power over your entire day than most people realize. What you think in those first few moments, what you focus on, what you tell yourself, it sets the direction for your mindset, your behavior, and your results. That's why you need to reset your mind every single morning with full intention. You can't just roll out of bed and hope the day goes well. You have to decide what kind of day you're going to create. And that starts with training your thinking the moment your eyes open. You see, your mind doesn't start blank each morning. It starts where you left it the night before. If you went to bed stressed or discouraged, your brain will carry that into the next day, unless you interrupt it. That's why a reset is necessary. It's not automatic. It's something you do on purpose. Not just once in a while, but every day without exception. This is how you take control before the world gets a chance to influence you. This is how you stay centered, no matter what happens around you. When you wake up, your first task isn't checking your phone. It isn't answering messages. It isn't thinking about problems. Your first task is to stop and think about who you are and where you're going. Remind yourself of what matters. Not everything, just the few things that actually move your life forward. The things you've decided are worth your energy. Because if you don't do this, your brain will chase whatever shows up first. It'll drift. It'll panic. It'll fall into the same mental habits that keep you stuck. But when you reset with intention, everything changes. You give your mind a fresh start. You remove the noise. You tell yourself the truth. You begin from clarity instead of confusion. And that one choice can shape your focus, your attitude, your effort, and your confidence for the entire day. That's how powerful your morning mindset really is. You don't need an hour to do this. You just need to be fully present. Give yourself a few minutes, sit up, breathe. Think clearly. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be today? What actions will reflect that? What distractions need to be ignored? This is how you reset. By deciding your direction instead of reacting to everything around you. You become proactive instead of passive. You live with purpose instead of pressure. Most people begin the day already behind. They start rushed, they start distracted, they start burdened by thoughts they didn't choose. And by the time the day gets moving, they've already lost control of their mind. That's why they feel scattered. That's why they lose focus. Because they never stopped to take ownership of their mindset before the world demanded their attention. If you want to break that cycle, the answer is simple. Don't start the day by reacting. Start by deciding. Reset your mind deliberately. Wipe away the noise. Clear out the mental clutter. You're not the same person you were yesterday. Today is new. Today you get another chance to live with strength, with direction. But you only get that chance if you take it.